Downtown Greenville, South Carolina welcomes you to this Week 13 matchup presented by Bud Light. It's the Greenville Triumph and Union Omaha meeting for the second time of 3 matches this season in USL League One. We welcome you all onto this broadcast on ESPN+. My name is Mark Schoenster, and sitting to my right is Ross Davenport as we look at the Hopkins Eye Center standings. 2 teams perennially successful in USL League One sitting below the playoff line right now, Ross.
I was going to say, Mark, I don't remember the last time we saw either the Greenville Triumph or Union Omaha outside of the playoff picture, but a win tonight would certainly put them right back into the mix.
Still early in the season, but the fact of the matter is it's not early in the season for much longer as we take a look at who is going to be stacked in the midfield today for the Greenville Triumph. A lot of pieces that have played this year, but in a lot of different positions.
Yeah, they started the season banged up as anything. Looked to be getting a little healthier, but then now they're an injured mess once again. They come in tonight with 6 injured players, 4 of those midfielders. Walker and Coutinho are on the bench, but certainly not healthy enough to go 90. Nowhere near at full health. Parks does love guys who can play multiple positions, though. Look at that graphic there. Where would he be without these gentlemen, Mark?
Would love some consistency, and that's something that this Owls midfield has had all season long. A lot of players who's played a lot of minutes right in the middle of the field. They're all rather familiar with each other. Yeah,
Captain Connor Doyle, Luis Hill, JP Skiers all played over 800 minutes this season. Doyle won't start tonight, though. Replacing him will be Pedro Dalabella. He's played in every game this season. Joe Brito gets his 8th start. Meanwhile, JP Skiers may drop a little deeper tonight with the absence of Doyle, and they'll be looking to take advantage of rookie Daniel Wu, normally a centre-back at defensive midfield tonight.
We'll see if that production continues for the Owls, or will the Greenville Triumph make another adjustment and find a positive result? Only one way to find out, and that's on the other end of this break. We've got lineups, kickoff, and 90 minutes of USL League One soccer on ESPN Plus on the other side.
It's not about building a home in just 30 hours for a deserving family with Habitat for Humanity, or about building homes for a national television competition. It's about building memorable experiences with our community, team members, and trade partners that will last for a lifetime. Hunter Quinn Homes, building the difference.
We offer a full array of dental treatment, and what that provides you as a patient is you're able to come to one place and get comprehensive care under one roof.
I've always been greeted with a smile. They know me when I call. I trust them.
We'd love to see you at Wood Creek Dental. Visit us at woodcreekdental.com.
At Piedmont Natural Gas, being a part of the communities we serve is important to us, because to us, community begins with you. We strive to address the needs of our communities by investing time and resources to help improve the quality of life for our customers. For over 60 years, we have funded programs that support education, the environment, and community impact. Our Energy Assistance Program, Share the Warmth, helps customers pay their energy bills. We're committed to helping our neighbors by powering the vitality of our communities.
This USL League One broadcast is presented by Bud Light, proud partner of the Greenville Triumph. As we welcome you back to Paladin Stadium and Procession, I mentioned already this is the second game of the season between these two sides. Let's take a look back at how these two teams faced off. It wasn't that long ago, Ross, and it was a wild one too.
Yeah, so we used to some midweek chaos in League One, and this game was no exception. 3-3 Omaha, 20 shots, 3 of them which went in, including Noah. Noah made his strike with 20 minutes to go, gave them a 3-1 lead, but Greenville, they weren't going to lie down. Devin Boyce had a penalty against his old team and a wonder strike from Jacob Lavovich, which we'll see in a minute. earn Greenville the point, despite only having 34.9% possession mark.
Look at that over the shoulder. Labovitz just pops that one in, makes it 3-3, sharing a point. Will we be sharing a point today, or will one of these teams be claiming all three of them? Let's find out. Here is our Spartanburg Regional Healthcare System starting lineups. First off, donning the lunar kits, it's the Greenville Triumph.
Yep, 2 changes for John Harks. Fenton Evans out, as well as Devin Boyce, who is suspended for this one, unfortunately, against his old team. Jacob Labovitz comes in, only his second start since mid-April, and Nate Schultz returns at right back.
Of course, we mentioned Daniel Wu moving up to the midfield. Meanwhile, here is Union Omaha's starting lineup. They're going to be running a 4-4-2 diamond.
Yep, also 2 changes for Dom Castiato. Connor Doyle out for the first time this season. He'll be replaced. Well, JP Skis will come in that defensive midfield spot. Luca Mastro Antonio also out. Dolabella and Milanese come into the lineup.
Skierce will be sitting deeper, as Ross mentioned in the open. And we look to get things going here. Greenville will be kicking things off.
We think Skierce will drop deeper, right? Dom
That's
Castiato, a tinkerer, as we refer to them. He loves to move lineups around, moves players around. A lot of his guys, just like John Harks, can play multiple positions.
And we'll see how those adjustments for both sides pan out in this one. It's Omaha and Greenville.
Yeah, John Harks has been forced to make a lot of changes in his lineup position-wise. Dom Castiato likes to move guys around, left, right, center. See what works. Obviously, his first year as a coach of this team.
A lot of turnover for this Omaha roster, but still got to figure out the pieces that you have from the guys that have carried over from previous years.
Well, we thought Daniel Wu would be playing in the midfield market. It looks like he's playing at the back with Evan Lee perhaps pushing into center midfield. John Harks did say both of them were options at that spot to go alongside Pallado, because it's like Wu will partner Fricky at center back. See how that progresses as the game goes on, and we were sort of taking a bit of a guess. Daniel Wu did play some midfield in college.
We're going to get an early corner kick brought to you by PNC's Corner for Kids. It'll be Pallado to take it. He's got Gavilanes sitting there right by him. Cross swings in, nodded away. Nate Schultz will track it down, getting the start once again. His 5th of the season. And that one knifed out, and a player goes down for Greenville. And it's going to be a free kick for the Triumph. We also have an Omaha player down.
Big collision there, Brandon Fricky. Omaha player down, holding his face.
Looks to be Luis Heel.
Captain tonight in the absence of Connor Doyle. So dangerous chance here. Gavilanes can strike them with the left foot from this side.
Got Gavilanes and Pallado, who are by the dead ball. Early set piece chance for the Greenville Triumph following the corner kick. They've been able to score some early goals here at home.
Yeah, scoring hasn't been a particular problem for Greenville this year, Mark. It's been the usually stout defense. It's been a long time since they've had a clean sheet.
A lot of dead time here. Here's the shot, and it runs into the wall, and that'll be the end of it. Wu gets disarmed. Here comes Omaha. It's Heel. Can square it across. That's well smothered by Pallado. And Mazzola has kept it in play. How about that backtracking from Noah Pallado?
You and I were talking about Noah Pallado before the game, Mark. He hasn't had much of a break of late because of all the injuries. He's been forced to play 90 minutes a ton, something John Harks said during the week he didn't want him to be doing with his injury history, but what a run back that was. He was next to the ball when that free kick was taken. Had to sprint all the way back and make up for rookie Daniel Wu's mistake, which was almost a deadly one.
That was a 3-on-1 situation. It was Pallado all by himself. Last weekend here at Paladin Stadium, a 1-1 draw between the Greenville Triumph and Tormenta, the longtime rivals. John Hark said that his side moved the ball well within their own half, but not so much in the attacking half. He mentioned he wanted more responsibility from his guys moving forward. And also talked about how sometimes the midfielders defensively were backing up too much and getting in the way of the center backs, clogging the way. When it came to the positives, though, of course, the cross from Gavilanes on the goal was fantastic. John Hark said he wants to see 5 to 6 crosses per half.
That was Greenville's old MO, right? Was the crosses coming in from both sides. They've gone away from it a little bit. Lost a bit of width in their game. John Hark was talking about that this week, too. Trying to use that width. Especially tonight against that midfield diamond of Omaha. There's going to be chances to find spots out wide.
The Owls will try and cook something up here. This ball driven into the middle and just wide. Just out of the reach. I believe that was Dolabella they were looking for. Actually, it was Burrito.
Delightful ball. Well anticipated too, just a little too much pace on it. Polak was beaten. Both these teams coming in tonight, Mark, desperate for 3 points. Greenville just 1 win in 6, although they've only got 1 loss in those last 5 though. 3 draws over that span, and a good thing they picked up those points, otherwise they'd be sitting down towards the bottom of the table in single digits if they hadn't picked up those 3 draws lately. Obviously the big comeback draw, excuse me, in Omaha.
This long ball forward, Shaft Brewer gets that one tapped out. Liam McKinnon. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
I know it's hard to go back sometimes and look at the end of last season, especially when teams make so many changes. Obviously, Omaha with the manager change as well, but both of these teams struggled down the stretch last season, right? They both made the playoffs, but only won 1 of their final 8 games and then were deposited out of the playoffs before the championship game. So both these teams have been struggling going back to last year. Greenville struggles a little different this year with the lack of clean sheets. The goals have been there, as you mentioned. John Hark said he wanted to get back to that defensive soccer. Obviously, injuries haven't helped. They've also got, along with the midfield injuries, Jamie Smith out at the back, Hassan Gabo out at the back. Brandon Fricke only just back from injury. Daniel Wu was out for a while. It's been a full trainer's room for Greenville in this first third of the season. We mentioned in the pregame, Mark, a win tonight would put them back right into the playoff mix.
Gavilanes. Good sifting pass forward. Castro. There's that one tapped away. Milanese gets his foot on it before it scuffles out for an Owl throw. Yeah, for Omaha, they're coming off a 3-0 loss on the road at Charlotte. Dominic Casciato, the head coach for the Owls, said that his side's doing a lot of good things. If you look at the stats, we're creating chances. It's a dangerous side as Heel looks to create some danger here. Brito applying the pressure. Juggled down by Heel. Pops out fortuitously. Here's the shot saved by Mazzola. The follow-up. It's an easy finish. And Noe Meza bags his 3rd goal against the Triumph this season.
Yeah, Noe Meza, one of those guys that just knows where to be inside that box. Perfect positioning there for the rebound. It was a good save from Mazzola. But Meza just first to react, and nobody within a few yards of him.
The 25-year-old from Washington, Noe Meza, his 6th goal of the season, half of them against this Greenville team. He had a brace the last time they met. And he has already left his imprint on this game under 10 minutes in.
We talked to John Harks after the last game against Omaha, Mark, and we said, gotta know at all times where this man is. And Greenville just lost track of him again, and he made him pay. Thought we'd see goals tonight, Mark.
Yeah. Both these teams have scored quite a few of them and have conceded quite a few of them this season.
The last meeting was in the 18th minute when Dolabella gave Omaha the lead. Not wasting that much time this night.
6 goals in that first thriller of a match at Werner Park.
Now means 7 games in a row for Greenville without a clean sheet. The last one was the 2-0 win over Lexington towards the end of April.
Well, certainly, whether you want to call it luck, if you want to call it being in the right spot for Noe Meza, either way, a couple of things bounced their way there, and that's something that Dominic Casciato mentioned that recently they haven't had. He said, we've been a bit unlucky, and eventually the luck's going to fall our way. We've been playing right. It just hasn't bounced in our favor.
No, it evens itself out, and I'm sure Omaha saw Greenville's game last week against Tormenta when they were put under extreme pressure in the first 10 or 15 minutes. So really, even John Harkes admitted they were lucky not to be 1-0 down at least in the first 10 or 15 minutes in that game last weekend. And tonight, Omaha, with the turnovers and the pressure, turned it into that 1-0 lead. I have a feeling that won't be the last goal, though, Mark. We'll see this evening.
Rashid Nuhu, longtime holder of the Golden Glove in USL League One. Yeah, these are two sides, Ross. You already mentioned Greenville being stout defensively. Omaha have always been a stubborn side when it comes to conceding goals these past few years. Definitely a change of pace for both these squads coming into this season as Dolabella brings it forward.
It takes a while for a back line to gel, right? This is a brand new defensive unit for Omaha. Brand new coach, obviously. I think I think I'd be more worried if I was not scoring goals than I was if I was leaking goals. Obviously, it's not great for Omaha, but got some time to gel at the back. They've been moving some guys around back there. Master Antonio on the bench tonight, making some changes. Coach Casciato.
So corner kick for the Owls, their first of the evening. This one swings in and may have come off of Labovitz.
Wu comes up limping on the edge of the 6-yard box.
A little hobble, but he's looking to jog it off. Some communication with the assistant and Luis Heel, whether it was a corner or throw-in and anything else along those lines. Heel drives it in. This one more effectively headed away by Greenville. Served back in, but it was too much from Milanese. We talked about that slow start in the Tormenta game. Not intense enough, said John Harkes. He also talked about how he's trying to figure out how to get his guys to translate the good habits they have in training to the pitch on game days. Certainly there is different theories as to why maybe that's not the case, but I think one of them is that you do have to keep changing the formation, the personnel. You've got some new faces in there, some rookies. I mean, you're talking about Daniel Wu, Ryan McKinnon. It's crazy to think about how many positions McKinnon has already played this season, and this is his first year playing professional soccer.
Yeah, he's turned into the fire, right? You're already getting into the pro game. That's a shock, and then just the pace of the game, physicality, and then you're having to play multiple positions. It's certainly something John Harkes wouldn't have wanted to be forced into. Obviously, you like to move guys around, give guys rests here and there. They're not a particularly deep squad in general. Only the 22, and that includes Jonah Bigger, who's an academy lad on the bench tonight. He can play a bit of defense. He was forced to play defense earlier this season, more of a midfielder by trade.
Service comes floating in, still headed about. Labovitz makes some contact on it. And they're going to get a high boot there from Steven Dos Santos.
It's one advantage of being a little shorter, Mark. Tyler Pollock. If he was a little tall, he might not have got that call.
Standing at 5'8". Castro walks it forward, sends it across, trying to connect with Labovitz there. The two of them playing on the pitch at the same time, not always the case. As a matter of fact, I'd say it's less frequently the case for Labovitz and Castro, typically playing for one or the other.
Yeah, I think this is maybe the third time I think they've played together this season. Mark, not always as a 9 and 10 there up top. Sometimes Labovitz has played off him a little bit off Castro.
Heel connects with Brito. Connects inside, finds Meza. Meza turns, and his effort ultimately just popping off his foot into no one in particular.
That was good work from Nate Schultz there, coming out over from his right back spot. And whistle.
Play on, Skierce centrally, and that was a crunching challenge from Daniel Wu.
Whether that was a makeup call or not, I'm not sure. Daniel Wu came right through the back of Dos Santos. No call from referee Kalume. Let's see if we need to stop here for a second to get Dos Santos some attention. It looks like we will.
Whistle from Alejo Kalume, our head official. Steven Dos Santos, 33 years old, longtime veteran in the USL. Had a chance to look at this challenge again.
Oof. I mean, I don't think Daniel Wu got any ball. It looked like he got all left leg of Steven Dos Santos, but he's letting him play tonight as referee Kalume. That's clear to see. Gotta be careful though, you don't let it get too out of hand. There's the Reedy River Riot with the belt, the green belt. They have held briefly, Mark.
Really?
I have. Just before the 2021 championship game.
That's right. That was a cold day.
It was chilly for someone that's been living in Florida for as long as I have.
Chance for John Harkes to chat with his guys. Both these sides, like you mentioned earlier, have been trying to find a win. Have not been successful in recent stretches. Donna Casciato mentioned as far as his team's morale, he said it's really important, first off, to maintain high spirits, and said his guys understand that we've been close in a lot of these matches. The Charlotte game is really the only one where it got away, as we get a good look at the belt. No one taking it last time, of course, with the 3-3 draw.
Yeah, I think the problem with both of these teams so far this season has been just the inconsistent performances. It gets a little frustrating as a team when you play well for spells and play poorly for spells, even within games. It is early in the season, though. I think Omaha were struggling early last season. They went on that run for both teams, as we mentioned earlier, struggling down the stretch. This league is just so tight, though, Mark. You can't afford for these patches to go on for too long.
Heel with the outside of his foot, gets it right back to him.
As we've seen with Central Valley Fuego, a couple of wins and you can vault yourself up the table. Fuego could, with a win tonight, perhaps jump above one of these two teams.
It's both a blessing and a curse in this league, because you can always be hopeful and think, okay, maybe one of those stretches or runs are coming for us, but it didn't just as well come to any of these other teams in the league. All of them are capable.
And Greenville had that real rough patch a couple of summers ago. They won only one win in 12, but then they finished the regular season 9 games undefeated. Obviously got to the championship game before losing to Omaha. Omaha come into this one with only 1 win in 9 games in all competitions. That was that 3-2 win over NOCO in late April. That was looking like an impressive win.
Yeah,
I mean, the way NOCO are playing.
Looking like a collector's item. Well, Colorado, especially here at home in their new fortress. We'll take a look at their highlights from Wednesday at halftime. They are very good at home to start things off at their freshly minted ground. The service just a little bit too far, sailing out for a goal kick.
It's a good English word, Mark, ground. I like that.
You mentioned my use of the word comms earlier.
I did. I'm wearing off on you. Rashid Nuhu, might be a happy man today. His brother Razak used to be on the books of Manchester City, who won the Champions Cup today to complete the treble.
Such a talented team, Man City. Here's a look at our goal scorer, Noe Meza. From Sunnyside, Washington. It's his second year with Union Omaha. Had a good season last year. He's already catching up to his goal tally, though. He had 9 goals and 4 assists last season. He's already up to 6, and we're not even at a third of, or I guess this is now a third of the season with this game being played for the Owls. Their 11th match of the season.
No, he was very impressive as a rookie last year, Noe Meza. Continuing his hot play here into 2023.
It was a nice touch from him just a moment ago. Brito enters the 18. Still Brito with it. It's on the brakes. Shaft Brewer plays it back to Swahi. The Owls will find another avenue to attack through. Brewer takes it forward, working on Polak. Brewer plays it in the center. That one dealt with by Greenville. Week 11, these two teams played each other. It's week 13, so it hasn't been that long. As Brewer takes over to that right channel, sends the cross in, headed down. Pilato now has it, and he'll boot it into the air. John Hark said, let's tweak a little bit. We learned some lessons in our shape. We could do some things out wide more often. He mentioned how good Skierce and Doyle are in the middle and how much depth that team has. They aren't an injured side like the Greenville Triumph. No one listed on the injury report for the Owls coming into this game.
Yeah, been lucky so far. Slavovitz earns the free kick.
It's like kickoff again. Right on the Furman logo.
Yeah, John Harks talked about Alan Gavalanes. I asked him about, he's one of the best ball skill guys on his team, but he wants him to get around the back more. Like you saw, we've seen the Omaha fullbacks trying to do that already to Polak, get around the edge, right, and get those pullback crosses. We haven't seen that a whole ton from Greenville this season. They're missing the pace of Venton Evans. He was out for a little while due to some personal problems.
He's an option on the bench today.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see him later on. Been a mix of guys playing opposite Gavalanes. Gavalanes can play both on the left and the right, left-footed. Loves to cut back in. That's where he gave that cross last weekend for Castro, coming in from the right with that left foot.
Polak sends this one forward. McKinnon, can he chase it down? No, he cannot. He'll roll out for a goal kick. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. You mentioned the Champions League, Ross. At this point, we've pretty much reached the conclusion of the soccer season in Europe. So now it's all about America now. And of course, USL League One in particular.
Some big competitions coming up, obviously, here later. Gold Cup. Dos Santos down again. That's going to be at least a chat here from referee Kalume.
Ryan McKinnon getting the talking to. Talked to Dominic Casciato about that 3-3 draw with Greenville just 2 weeks ago. He said, we felt we were dominant outside of a crazy 3-minute window. He said they win a penalty and then score an incredible goal. Outside of that, he felt pretty good about how they performed in that matchup. So when it came to approach, he said, we're gonna tackle this match in similar fashion to that one. And so far, so good for the visiting Owls. That one launched into oblivion on the clearance. Junior Palacios just rifling that one away. It's centrally by McKinnon. Polak tries to serve it back in for Labovitz. Doesn't reach him. Lee does well to backtrack there.
It was like he was playing center back again. Greenville, yeah, they've really missed Aaron Walker. That center midfield spot, such a veteran presence. We'll see if we see him tonight. John Hark said he's likely healthy enough to give him a few minutes off the bench. Coutinho, you and I are both surprised to see him on the bench, Mark. He was listed as questionable, probable in different spots. We'll see if we see him. I guess that one will depend on the score. I think Walker likely comes in as long as this is a one-goal game or so.
4 midfield players who have been struggling with injuries for the Greenville Triumph. Tevin Shaw's out. John Harks mentioned that Lucas Coutinho has been working on getting back, and Aaron Walker trained a little bit this week. He mentioned only be on late to close out the game. Came to that holding midfielder spot. It was either going to be Daniel Wu or Evan Lee.
Yeah, we guessed wrong, Mark, but that's all right. You just missed that. You just missed that connection in the midfield with Walker being able to link. Pilato has obviously scored some great goals in his time with Greenville, but he's more of a goal scorer than a provider and a connector in that midfield. Obviously, Evan Lee, certainly more defensive-minded.
Does have the propensity to take one forward every now and then, though.
He does love a little marauding run up the middle. Yellow lines here at Paladin Stadium for those who might be watching for the first time and wondering why that wasn't out of play. That's delightful ball.
Just too far ahead of Labovitz, and Nuhu also came off his line to provide the clearance.
And Nuhu, a very quick keeper. Any ball over the top like that, he's going to be on his horse. Right idea, though, from Greenville, a little more direct. That wasn't the right idea.
Meza, the happy benefactor of that one, and that's a lovely pass forward. But the offside flag will go up. Steven Dos Santos will be denied the chance.
It was a close one. He's not complaining, though. Ball was played just a split second too late. If you'd have given it now, you just wait that extra half second. It was a good step in the end from Fricky. Another giveaway.
Right back into the Owls' clutches.
The Talons, Mark. You had a chance there.
That's true. It is the Talons.
Disappointed in you. I guess you do clutch with a Talon.
Somewhat, yeah. You live and you learn. We will drag this one back to Mazzola.
Jerry Mazzola had a couple of great stops last weekend against Tormente. He's one of the best shot stoppers in the league. No doubt about that. John Hark said on the penalty there was no contact. The referee still called it on Mazzola, who perhaps didn't need to come for it, but he said there was no contact. Unfortunate penalty there to tie things up. As Milanese's down. His second start in the last 5. Rotating a little bit center back.
Marco Milanese, the Italian.
Just looked like he fell awkwardly. No contact with anybody.
I don't even know if that was contact with the ground per se for his neck, but just that his...
He just took the wind out of him a little bit,
Yeah.
perhaps.
kind of whipped his neck from the contact, from not his neck hitting the ground, but from his back.
He's got to learn to fall, Mark, like Tua Tagovailoa. He's got to learn how to fall. It is a skill. It certainly is a skill that some people have and some people don't, especially when you're going backwards.
Castro goes down from that contact from Palacios, but nothing will be called from it. No, you're certainly right. It is definitely a talent. That can be how certain players have such longevity.
Let's just talk about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Not the most athletic, but he was so hard to bring down. And when he did fall, people would say it was like hitting a brick wall because he just knew how to take contact and fall. Looks like Milanese is okay. I'm worried about it on this turf, though, sometimes. It's not soft.
Nuhu blasts this one forward.
Yeah, only the one shot on target here for either team as we approach the half-hour mark. Got off to a fast start, Mark, but things have slowed down quite a bit in the final thirds. Daniel Wu, who was very lucky early on not to be, got his pocket picked, and he was lucky that Omaha didn't capitalize on it. Thanks to his buddy Noah Pallado.
Bring up this turf, was able to talk to Dominic Casciato about venues a little bit and how much different it is to prepare for away games versus his home games at Werner Park. Of course, with the tight dimensions at that pitch, I asked him, I mean, just how much does it change the way you approach the game? And we'll hold on that for a moment. Brito with a nice step. Pulls this one out. Heel. Earns the deflection. Yeah, Casciato said, well, we'll adjust a little bit, but that's only natural when it comes to different venues. I mean, you adjust to different teams, different field dimensions, whether it's a more adverse fan environment, potential weather, etc. Heel. Just kept that one. Actually, he didn't keep it in. It's going to be a goal kick.
Tyler Polak, I think, took a loose hand to the face, trying to shake it off. Yeah, I think it's different. It's different playing on different size pitches, Mark, but I think it's more of a deal for the visiting teams at Werner. I'm sure the Omaha players do enjoy getting away and getting a little more space, especially those wingers out there. About to get started. Second game of the night in League One. Tormenta hosting Lexington, getting started here any minute now.
So we're going to get a free kick for the Triumph. Nate Schultz was able to take the brunt of some contact and play on, but didn't amount to anything. 30 minutes in, the goal from Noe Meza is the difference. Off the save from Mazzola. Meza was right place, right time. Probably scored his easiest goal of the season.
Other games tonight in League One. Madison hosting North Carolina at 8 o'clock. NOCO against 1 Knoxville at 9 o'clock Eastern, and the late one, 10 o'clock, Central Valley Fuego, hosting the Kickers. So all staggered starts tonight. I know that'll please those fans of the league. Get to watch a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we've had
if you so desire.
Had a couple weekends in a row where we had 3-4 games playing at the same time.
I mentioned, yeah, JP Skiers there sitting a little deeper. Dolabella and him have kind of been rotating at that 6th spot so far tonight.
Lavovitz doing some harassing there as it goes all the way back to Nuhu. Lexi Swahi strolls forward. And I'll send the long ball. Brewer chasing it down.
Interesting stat. When Omaha have scored first, they've avoided defeat in their last 8 matches. Their last loss after scoring first was back in September 22 against Richmond. It was a 3-2 loss.
Dolabella sends this one inside and into the hands of Mazzola.
Greenville now have also conceded 3 times in the first 15 minutes of games. Only Tormenta have conceded more with 4 in the opening. Is it 1/6 of games?
Yeah, maybe 1/6. I quickly crunched the numbers in my head.
We are underway in Tormento. Keep you abreast of the score in that game. So you can flip over at halftime if you so desire. We do have some good stuff at halftime as always. News and notes from around League One. Highlights as always. John Harks pointing exactly where that throw was. Should be taken from.
Helping the AR do their job there.
We'll talk about the new team being announced in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Talked to John Harks a little bit about that. As being a New Jersey man himself, he said he used to play a little bit for the Brooklyn Italians when he was growing up, just trying to get games in where he could. As a youngster, just looking to play as much soccer as possible. You also mentioned the visitors have a connection, Mark.
Yeah, so the two coaches. John Harks, former player for the Italians. You see him there. Dominic Casciato at a point in time was the director for the Brooklyn Italians a couple years back. So both coaches having seen their way through that club, historic club there. And I'm sure both of them stoked to see USL League One. Actually, I don't have to assume that. They both said it, talking to them this week.
Yeah, John Harks was excited. I asked him if Brooklyn was a soccer center, and he said, yeah. He said he used to go, as he said, and play there a ton. It's great to see New York getting a League One team.
Casciato would concur with that one, called it a thriving soccer culture. The other aspect to that really stoked John Harks is he said, we were worried through COVID if the league would survive. So every time they announce a new team, he's so excited. He said, I'm more excited for that than I am for the Lionel Messi announcement. And that may sound crazy, but he genuinely felt that way.
Obviously, Queensborough had been reported as going to have a USL team at one point. That seems to have fizzled out for the time being. So great to see some concrete news. Watch out. Oh, wow.
Going down there, Pedro Dolabella. Challenge from Pilato will earn that free kick.
It's been a very cagey first half, Mark. Other than the chaos of that first 10 minutes or so, we really haven't seen much action in either box.
Pilato gets that one distributed to him. Floats it up for Labovitz, and it's into the hands of Nuhu instead, and they're going to call a foul there on Labovitz.
Yeah. That's the second foul on Labovitz on an aerial duel in the last few minutes. He's lucky not to be in the referee's book. He undercut Nuhu there, and he did the same thing just a few minutes ago.
Just buckled into him. Labovitz talking about the rookies. Just his second year as a pro. Second year with the Triumph.
An early goal in Georgia. Keziah Sterling with an early penalty. Once again, just like last week. That one was late last week. This one's early. So Tormento with a 1-0 lead over Lexington in the 7th minute.
We talked about how they concede goals in the opening window. Well, this time they were on the scoring end.
Early goals in both early matches. Since the goal, we haven't had much of anything, Mark. Still just the one shot on target.
And he'll get a free kick here, though, for the Owls. See the captain's armband on Tyler Polak, sporting the many prideful colors for the Proud to Be campaign. Brito. That ball inside was nice, and it deflects off Castro. That one could have been dangerous, but he was able to body it out for a corner kick.
Corner kick for Union Omaha.
You consider that two of the 3 shots in this game, Mark, came on the goal. because one was saved by Mazzola. That's essentially how much limited action we've had around the net in the last 30 minutes or so. Chance here, perhaps. No.
A bit of a miscommunication there between Swahi or Meza at the point the decision was made. Swahi couldn't have a delicate enough of a touch.
They're only giving Omaha the one shot on target, which is a strange mark because Mazzola made the save on the initial shot. And the second one went in, so they certainly have 2 shots on target. I disagree with Uptel on that one.
I think they don't log goals as shots on target, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
At least in the on the stat monitor we use.
Aha.
I believe once the game concludes and they rack up the stats, it does end up being included.
I'll take your word for it.
This segment of the match is brought to you by ScanSource, accelerating growth for partners and calling Greenville home for 30 years. When it comes to conceding goals, a lot of the times it comes from mistakes. If we have a player down for Omaha, that's Marco Milanese. He's already been down once.
Card for Leo Castro. Milanese went down with a scream. It was a late whistle. Referee Captain Tyler Pollack's going to see what happened there, or at least have a word to find out what the decision was about. It was certainly a late challenge from Castro, and it was a late whistle as well, though.
The referee has issued a caution.
His 3rd yellow card of the season, Leo Castro.
To Greenville's number 25, Leonardo
I mean,
Castro, in the 41st
looked like he perhaps stepped on the foot of Milanese. That was all there was to it. Castro didn't complain much.
Mazzola just able to get his hands on it.
Solid punch for sure.
How we play without the ball is just important as how we play with it. John Harps was telling us about how his side is getting better about limiting mistakes game by game. You mentioned it's kind of a culture thing that comes with players being less and less mistake prone. You have to be consistent with reinforcement and training and in games. Likened it a bit to parenting in that regard. No shots on goal for the Triumph, leaving Nuhu sitting around for the most part. Did some number crunching, Ross. Nuhu so far this season is facing an extra shot per game than he has in any of his other seasons he's played with the Owls. Shot on target, mind you.
Right.
That adds up by the end of the season. Castro does so well there. Castro trying the acrobatics. He gets run into by Palacios. And that was a bad collision. The refs waving on some help.
Yeah, there was no foul on the play. Castro just whiffed and then fell awkwardly. I'm sure you can see it on the replay.
Another look at it.
It was a lovely first touch. The ball just bounced a little high for him and then sort of collided on the way down after the shot. Okay, another look at it here on the second camera.
With his upper body.
Looked like he landed awkwardly on his shoulder at first, but he grabbed his leg. On his feet is Castro.
Certainly Palacios, the one who more urgently waited for help after the collision.
So giving some attention to his neck. He's sitting up though, it's good to see. Players get a chance for a water break.
Dominic Casciato, mentioned earlier, former director of the Brooklyn Italians. Of course, now in his first year with the Owls. I asked him about the difference between USL League One and USL Championship, and he said there's not much of one. He said this league has good coaches and it's getting better with better players. He doesn't think there's really much separating the two leagues at this point in time. talk to coaches who have been in League One for a while, I think they've all shared a similar sentiment that across these past few years, the level of play and the skill of the players involved just takes another drastic jump year by year.
There's no doubt about it.
So Omaha will get things going once again here.
I assume that was a drop ball rather than an Omaha free kick. Either way, heading towards stoppage time here at the end of a rather disappointing first half for both sides. Obviously, Omaha will be the happy team going on the break with the goal. They haven't done much since then. Greenville have been left to scraps for the entire 45 minutes, but it took them a while to get going last game.
For the first half.
So we're going to get 4 minutes of stoppage time, brought to you by Engineered Sleep, the best handmade mattresses in town. Visit engineeredsleep.com for better sleep.
This first half may be a little nap-inducing, Mark. If you got your Engineered Sleep mattress, you could take a nap at halftime if you don't feel like flipping over to Tormenton Lexington or watching the highlights of this one, which we could understand. Gavilanes goes down. Now we're going to have a yellow card to match your shirt.
Shaft Brewer getting his 4th yellow of the season. The 23-year-old from California. Another one of those second-year players with the Owls. Here's a look at it again.
Wasn't much in it, but Shaft Brewer knew what he was doing. You could tell when he jogged away. He was going to get the free kick called against him. Perhaps not the card. Chance here for Greenville to swing one in.
Bullock, not a bad ball. Headed away, brought down. The shot skips a couple times, and it's slotted home. Liam McKinnon tucks it away and levels this one before the half. The rookie with his 2nd strike of the season. Brought to you by YMCA Greenville.
This was a strange one because there was an Omaha player on the ground on the far side. Then there was appeals for handball, and everybody just sort of froze for a second. And Liam McKinnon, first one to pounce. Have a look at it here. There was the collision on the outside. There was appeals for handball here. Weren't given him. McKinnon, 13 yards out. First one to react. A little lucky, just like the Omaha goal, fell to his feet. And he finished calmly.
Composure from Liam McKinnon. We talked earlier. That one gets knocked away. He's been a bit of a Swiss Army knife this season for John Harkes.
Oh, boy. He is from Switzerland, for those that don't know.
Yeah, that as you see there, his 2nd goal of the season, brought to you by YMCA Greenville.
We've also got an equalizer in Georgia. Lexington matching Tormenton 1-1 there.
So it's that 5 goals conceded now in the first 15. This one floats up.
That one might not have been in the 15th. I think it was in the 16th. It was the 16th minute. We'll get a goal scorer when we find it.
So a fortunate goal for both of these sides here.
That's his Diouf, Mark, with his 3rd goal in 2 games.
Wow.
Assist from former Greenville man, Cesar Murillo.
Oh, I was very much anticipating the Nico Brown name to be thrown out there. Cesar Murillo. Also very much on that team along with Don Smart, so I'm not sure why I just went and assumed Nico Brown, I guess, given his attacking prowess.
Gavilanes might be finding his way into the book late here. That was a nasty challenge from behind on Shaft Brewer.
And Brewer is ailing right over by the Reed River Riot. Swahi trying to get the trainers to come over.
Looks like Allen will get away with just a warning. Let's take a look at it here and see exactly what happened. Yes. Just climbing down the leg of Brewer. That was probably yellow card worthy. Got away with it though.
Yeah.
Brewer's going to, luckily he'll be able to head to the locker room soon and get some attention for that injury. So we'll try and run it off here. We're past the 4 minutes, but certainly going to be some time added on after these 2 free kicks.
Nuhu launches this one down the pitch. Cleared away by Fricky. That looked like a high boot. That other call earlier was. Castro, once again, doing well to chest the ball down.
Yeah, Castro, you look at him, he doesn't look like the most physical of players, but when he gets in the air, he loves to win those duels.
And when it comes to a winner of the duel in general, there is not one. 1-1. Noe Meza scoring early in this game, only for Liam McKinnon to score late in this first half, closing us at 1 apiece between these 2 sides. Now 4 goals between the 2 total in the season series. And there you see the 2 youngsters scoring. Liam McKinnon, just 23 years old, Noe Meza, 25. Both taking advantage of the opportunity falling at their feet. As we see this first half to a close, we're going to step aside briefly. When we come back, we have some halftime content coming your way right here on ESPN+. We'll see you then.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
You know, I'm just feeling a lot of pressure. There's big shoes to fill.
It's your time now, Tommy. I know you'll keep it special like your dad did.
If we can keep this business growing, I think that's the best way to honor him.
Well, I was there for him, and I'll be there for you.
About this new location?
He would have loved it, Tommy. Let's find a way.
Whenever the Greenville Tramps score not 1, but 2 goals during any home game, fans score big with 10% off on all fresh, scratch-made food at Habitat. Just grab a table, show your game day ticket while wearing your Triumph gear. Don't forget, you can always come cheer on the team while watching the away games during our watch parties. Habitat, proud sponsor of the Greenville Triumph.
Halftime here in Greenville, South Carolina. 1 goal apiece between the Triumph and Union Omaha. Got some halftime content for you here. Why don't we just rewind it back a couple of days? Let's discuss the most important soccer news from this past Wednesday, USL League One highlights. Starting with the Red Wolves hosting Forward Madison in the 37th minute. Mo Espinoza with his 3rd assist of the season, connecting with Ropapa Mensah for his 3rd goal of the season. How huge would it be for the Red Wolves if Mo Espinoza can get back to full form like he was last year? He was so explosive in 2022. They could use that here in 2023. Meanwhile, Mensah, after scoring a goal, provides an assist to Siobhan Marsh. 2-0 in the first half. Z Korotowski's side has been looking for a good first half for a while now. They found it. There were 36 total shots, 9 on goal in this game, including this scrambling effort from Forward Madison that would not go in. Aviles would end up falling down on it. He had 5 saves in the match total, and ultimately would collect the clean sheet and a 2-0 win for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. They have 3 wins this season, all of which have been at their fortress, CHI Memorial Stadium. Meanwhile, later that night, the 2nd ever home game at Future Legends Complex for Northern Colorado, and they're hosting the Kickers. Look at this ball from Leo Fola. Just wonderfully done. You don't really need me to describe just how great a pass this is from Vola. Valentin Sabella scores his first goal of the season, and Will Palmquist, in just his 4th start this year with the Kickers, not much he can do about that one. Meanwhile, in the second half, Michael Hornsby looking for Matt Bentley, but instead finds Lalo Delgado. Big chance for the Kickers, would not go through. And then before they knew it, the hole was going to get deeper because Trevor Ahmed, the Golden Boot leader, already has 7 goals in a 2-on-1 situation, proves while he is the best goal-scoring threat in all of USL League One right now. Just rifles it in that bottom left corner. In 2 games at Future Legends Sports Complex, Northern Colorado have outscored their teams 6-1 in those matches. And Trevor Ahmed, a big part of that, 8 goals and in the lead for the Golden Boot race. That's right, it is time to start tracking the Golden Boot leader, the assist leader, and the Golden Glove leader. We have enough base and data to really start effectively tracking this stuff for all these teams across USL League One. Rafa Mentigan led the pack to start things off this year, but Ahmed, what a fantastic month he has had. Noe Meza also tracking in behind. This will be an interesting race. So right now, Ahmed, so strong in that regard as we pivot over to the assist leaders, where it's very much more up in the air. No one's really tallied up a massive number of assists yet this season. So that could change at any moment, any month. A player could just get on a passing tear. That would be fantastic. Arthur Rogers last year, of course, had a ton of assists. But we got a couple of players here that all are more than capable of creating and serving up goal-scoring opportunities for their compatriots. Meanwhile, when it comes to the goalkeeping, it's a lot of new faces. As a matter of fact, not a single bona fide keeper from last year in USL League One that is in the lead in this Golden Glove race. Sean Lewis, coming from the USL Championship. Bernd Shipman is new, Lalo Delgado is new, and although Austin Pack has played with the Jacks before, this is his first time being the goalkeeper for the Jacks since coming to USL League One, and how fantastic has he been? Leading in goals against, leading in clean sheets, leading in saves. Right now, he's the front runner for Golden Boot, for Golden Glove, and also for Goalkeeper of the Year in USL League One, but any of these guys could catch up to him. That's all we've got for now in this halftime. We'll step aside briefly. When we come back, we have more content for you here on ESPN+.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer, bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights.
break out the Beastie Boys because USL League One is coming to Brooklyn. Ross, we talked a little bit about it in the first half, but how fantastic is it to get a League One team in such an iconic place in the country?
No, it's exciting stuff. There's also rumors about Harlem as well, perhaps coming in at some point soon in the next few years. So getting that Northeast presence, such a hotbed of soccer.
Ates Diouf, Player of the Week, already has a goal here today, and he is coupled by this Team of the Week. No one from either of these two sides, of course, been struggling to find some success, but I mean, up and down the board, some talented players showcasing here in Week 12. How about we take a look at the scoreboard here across the league, including those Wednesday fixtures we got the highlights on. And then, as we updated you during the first half, a Keziah Sterling penalty and an Ates Diouf finish to level things up at 1 apiece is where we'll find the coupling score. And here are the upcoming games. Now, worth mentioning that Madison, North Carolina game at the top left corner is about to kick off, as in it is kicking off like right now. So that game is no longer upcoming, it is happening. As we see some of the other games happening today and in the middle of the week. Got some fun games lined up. We're in the middle of the season now. We're in the thick of it, and we're in the thick of this game. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we have highlights, stats, and the second 45.
At Piedmont Natural Gas, being a part of the communities we serve is important to us because to us, community begins with you. We strive to address the needs of our communities by investing time and resources to help improve the quality of life for our customers. For over 60 years, we have funded programs that support education, the environment, and community impact. Our Energy Assistance Program, Share the Warmth, helps customers pay their energy bills. We're committed to helping our neighbors by powering the vitality of our communities.
It's not about building a home in just 30 hours for a deserving family with Habitat for Humanity, or about building homes for a national television competition. It's about building memorable experiences with our community, team members, and trade partners that will last for a lifetime. Hunter Quinn Homes, building the difference.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
This evening's USL League One broadcast is presented by Bud Light, proud partner of the Greenville Triumph. We're on the tail end of this halftime show between the Triumph and Union Omaha. 1-1 your score. Mark Schoenstrom alongside me, Ross Davenport. Why don't we peek at the highlights from the first 45 minutes of action to catch you up on everything. Started rather early in this one, 8th minute. Noe Meza, right place at the right time, but that's just a trait that strikers have.
Yeah, it was a lovely run by Brito to get away from Polak. Good save by Mazzola, but then no one anywhere near Noe Meza. He's going to finish that 9 times out of 10.
And number 9 tucking it home, of course, donning the number 7 though. Noe Meza, very prone to finding finishes, and then at the tail end of the half. So started early, and then we kept the action waiting until the very end of the first half. See here, Ryan McKinnon, first to wake up.
Yeah, I guess you could still consider this a set piece call. Greenville, and they're getting better with the set pieces of late. McKinnon in the right place at the right time to poke that one home. Tie things up late. There are your halftime stats. Nothing particularly stands out, Mark. It wasn't much action in either goal.
You would think this was more of a typical Omaha-Greenville match than what we would anticipate coming into this game, knowing these teams this season. But lo and behold, not a lot of opportunities between the two sides, as we see on these stats brought to you by Warehouse Services Incorporated. just 5 total shots.
Omaha did have 4 corners to Greenville's 1. Most of those came early, if I remember correctly, though.
Greenville's corner kick came within the first 2 minutes of the game.
1 yellow card for each side. Castro for Greenville and Brewer for the visitors. See if we have any halftime changes that we can notice. I don't see any just yet.
Whether it's personnel or tactically. Let's see what these two sides do. Of course, the way the approach to second half changed right before halftime with that McKinnon goal, because you would think if this was a 1-0 game in favor of Omaha, the way these two teams look to attack the second 45 would probably be very different than how it is now. Given the lack of chances these two teams have found, I think you can just more tweak than you need to really go into an aggressive or conservative mode if you're Dominic Casciato or John Hartz. Two teams switch sides and look to see if either of them can find a winner. We did not see one in the first matchup in that 3-3 draw. It seemed like it would be Omaha, but Greenville coming down from a 2-goal deficit. Let's see what we have in store for us in the next 45 minutes of action here on ESPN+.
Hopefully enough to see many minutes. So do you, if this game stays tied later, do you just try and hold on for that point at home with the situation you're in, or do you try and push for those 3 points? It's be interesting to see. Omaha obviously a lot more healthier with the 1 extra man on the bench. Connor Doyle we mentioned on there, as well as Eddie Gordon, Alex Steinwasser going forward. Oscar Galvan, a nice young talent.
Palacios helping up Castro there. It'll be a free kick for the Triumph. There's JP Skiers wearing the captain's armband. In the absence of Connor Doyle, who has been the lead man for the Owls since he made his way over. It's his 3rd year at the club, Connor Doyle. Of course, he's still sitting on the bench. Last time he came off the bench was August 21st of 2022. This one, not a lot of malice to that header.
As mentioned, no injuries listed, so we just have to assume Connor Doyle getting a bit of a rest. We'll see how the first 15-20 minutes of the second half play out. See if we'll see Doyle into the action. You have to assume if Omaha did take a lead, we might see him more than if they go down. Can score at times, though, Connor Doyle. It's been a while since he scored, I think, Mark.
Opportunity here for the Triumph. McKinnon with a pocket of space, and then it's poked away.
3 goals in 108 USL League One appearances. Obviously going back to his Chattanooga days. But more MLS goals than he has USL League One goals.
How about that?
4 times in the MLS.
Ain't that an oddity? Well, that's where another example of the increasing talent in USL League One continues to grow. More and more of these guys who have experience in the MLS here in USL League One. Luis Heel, another example of that. And there he is right now. Heel floats this one in, headed back across center, but I'm going to say illegally done by JP Skiers. Maybe jumping on the back there of Labovitz. So goal kick for, or not a goal kick, a free kick for Mazzola. Effectively a goal kick.
Yes.
Steven Dos Santos poking that out of the feet of Daniel Wu. Yep, we've got MLS guys here in USL League One. We've also, although it's always been the case, we've had USL Championship players come to USL League One, but now we're getting USL Championship players who were very much successful in the championship. Guys like Steven Dos Santos, Alexi Swahi.
Yeah, guys that perhaps didn't have an opportunity with a team that they could see game action in the USL Championship. Guys are now preferring to come to League One and play.
Yeah, and I mean, comes the USL Championship, it's getting harder and harder to find room to play in that league. I mean, they're playing guys who are now getting shipped over to Europe for over $1 million. Shout out to Josh Winder this week, getting the big deal to Benfica. It's a big club.
Listen, that kind of money can change the fortune of a USL team. I mean, I know Lou City, in the grand scheme of USL Championship, things isn't short of cash, but always a solid squad there. But that 7 figures can make a big difference. I know it all doesn't come at once.
Yeah.
Well, Benfica might be able to cough that much up at once. I take that back. I think if 30 to 40 million isn't going to be coughed up at once by teams in Europe. But maybe 1.2. Quick check. Wonder what the exchange rate is these days.
Either way, just record-breaking in USL as far as transfer fee is concerned, and we just keep seeing it year after year. That was Kobe Henry last season. We had the big transfer over to Europe, and then we also saw former League One man Ronaldo Damas. I believe Ricardo Pepi is also going to Eindhoven. Not sure if that deal's finalized yet or not. I'll have to go check what Fabrizio Romano is tweeting in that regard. Brito. Inside for Heel. Brito still with it. Flag will go up. Too much contact there. USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Arteaga at Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising FC and Memphis 901 FC Saturday, July 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
Memphis may have American who's played for my AFC Bournemouth. Emerson Hyndman just signed this week, like a Premier League experience, joining the USL.
Oh yeah, we're on the topic of the talent growing in USL League One and the championship guys and the MLS guys. Now we're getting former Premier League players, and we've already got Gabriel Oberton, who, I mean, come on.
Keziah Sterling, Champions League player.
It's incredible. We're in year 5.
Yeah, now we just got to see the progression of guys, perhaps going from League One to MLS at some, whether it's via MLS Next Pro or via the USL Championship. That's the next step we really want to see, right? Is these young guys making that step up to MLS. Obviously, Europe is even better.
So we've seen the success stories of League One up to Championship. I mean, just said Aaron Malloy's name, and also I know Tampa Bay Rowdies are playing right now, and that goal they already have a goal that involves some League One guys.
Yeah, Ryan Spalding giving Tampa Bay the lead against New Mexico, and Charlie Dennis, former Tormentor and Tucson man, with the assist. Spalding spent time with Revolution 2. Always keeping an eye on my former League One guys.
Absolutely.
In the champ.
So you got the trailblazing alumni from North Texas, the Ronaldo Damas and Ricardo Pepis of the world. But just seeing some of these players prove it at League One and then take that jump to championship and prove it there. A lot of these players in USL League One right now, you talk to the coaches about their talent level, and the coaches say, look, they have the ability to play in the championship. They just need to prove a thing or two, and we want that for them. I'm sure there are some players on these two teams that are looking to prove their value to USL Championship clubs. Also pursuing a title here in League One. Milanese with the cross, headed away by Polak. This one will be jostled and cleared away. Service comes in from Brewer. Dos Santos made some contact with it. And it's going to be a corner kick. The assistant official did not make a decision. That one came from Alejo Kalume from the center of the pitch.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. I think it comes off to Santos and then off Fricky or Lee. Or maybe off Schultz, in fact.
And I think it was Schultz's shoulder. So Luis Heel will make his way over to the left flag and provide some service here. Service comes in, headed away. Leo Castro doing the cleaning there. Hang on a ball boy, dishing that one back in. Right by the Reedy River Riot. Palacios. Taps it back to Swahi. Got the pair of Labovitz and Castro chasing that one forward. Nuhu able to get the clearance in the end. Dominic Casciato called Nuhu a great keeper. Said he knew he was good when I was coming in as the head coach for the Owls, but after working with him, he's better than I anticipated. Casciato said we're continuing to work with him on upping his game in certain qualities, and he's constantly being pushed by Ian McCrane, who is also a very good #2 keeper. Hasn't been able to make an appearance yet this season, but Casciato is seemingly confident that if his name was called, he'd be more than ready for it. Schultz. Over to McKinnon. And he gets caught up with Milanese. And it's going to be a throw-in, I don't think.
Well, there's going to be a free kick, late whistle from referee Kalume.
Marco Milanese once again.
Yeah, McKinnon here with some quick feet. Tried to dance inside Milanese. Yeah, it's definitely a foul. I'm not sure why the whistle was so late. Assistant referee, you see Nate Schultz was a little angry at first, but now another chance for perhaps a set-piece goal opportunity here. For the Triumph, Gavilanes, this is almost exactly where he swung in that cross for Castro last weekend in open play.
It'll be him and Pilato. They scored from a set piece right before the half expired. I'm sure they would love to fish for another one here. Let's see who will take it. Gavilanes plays at the top of the 18, the shot.
Tyler Polak seeking his first goal in professional soccer, not to be.
Have to wait another day or another moment. Contact from Tyler Polak. Gonna earn the whistle, and the trainers. Kalume waves them down the field to give assistance to JP Skeers.
Yeah, Tyler Polak just caught Skeers on the way by. His captains coming together.
Skeers is 25 years old, donning the captain's armband. Originally from Arizona. And he's been with Union Omaha ever since Union Omaha has been a club in the USL League One.
The club's custom wrap 1961 Triumph
Been with them
TR3A
all 3 seasons up to this one, and here in the 4th season.
Across the upstate. Visit the merchandise stand under the concourse to rev up your wardrobe as we celebrate the next evolution of the beloved Triumph car.
Good touch there from McKinnon. The goal scorer sends that one forward, trying to find Labovitz. Schultz tosses it in. McKinnon with the touch frees that ball, and then the Owls will collect it. Meza to Heel. Some traffic here along the edge and couldn't keep it in play. Pilata will quickly throw this one back into the action. Greenville with a good positive stretch of possession here. First little bit of promise from either side here in the second half. Nuhu just gets that one away. McKinnon keeps it in play. Schultz got that one knocked away by Skierce, but must have skidded off of Schultz after that. So it'll be an Omaha throw. Wait to see how long these coaches wait before making personnel changes. This one will bounce all the way to Mazzola. Of course, Greenville, as we mentioned already, handling a lot of injury problems in the middle of the pitch. Also missing Devin Boyce, not from injury, but from a red card suspension from the match in Tormenta, or not in Tormenta, against Tormenta. Tried to appeal that. John Harkes felt it was not a red card situation for Devin Boyce. That second yellow didn't feel like the challenge warranted that card. So it's hard to swallow that, but you move on from it.
Yeah, I'm sure Devin Boyce was upset about not getting to play against his former team after scoring against him in the last meeting and playing so well.
Scored and provided an assist.
Playing a little bit centrally lately because of the injuries to the middle of that Greenville midfield.
Round from behind from McKinnon. Casciato's arms are in the air.
Wow. I thought that was a clean tackle from Liam McKinnon. Dom Casciato didn't like it. He's a lot closer than me.
Third yellow of the season for the rookie. And John Harkes has also been given a yellow card. There it is.
Let's see here on the replay. I mean, McKinnon got the ball. There was certainly contact after he knocked the ball away, but perhaps a harsh yellow. I can see the referee giving a foul on that, but a yellow?
To the Greenville bench in the 62nd minute.
That's a little tough. For those who watched that Tormenta game last week, and when talking about coaches getting carded in the appealing process, Ian Cameron getting knocked out of the game last week, ended up actually getting that repealed, so he is there on the dugout against Lexington today.
He was as shocked as we were when he got that card. Ian Cameron.
Certainly a priceless look on his face.
Good work there from Shaft Brewer under pressure.
Heel turns and is able to find some room in the middle for Meza, who does well to knock it out of his possession. Dolabella. Back over to Brewer. The Owls trying to have a positive stint of possession now. Trying to prod it into the attacking third. They'll win a throw-in. Dos Santos brings it down. The shot on goal is into the hands of Mazzola. Well worked there by the Owls. And the shot on target there. There's Frecky.
Can't forget to give a shout out to the Omaha fans watching back in Nebraska at Cross Drain Brewing. Always a good crowd.
And they may be looking for something to cheer for here. Heel heads it to Meza. Meza back to the top of the 18. That shot scuffled around, still in danger. Dolabella lets that one fly, and that one not quite on target the way his shot against Greenville in the first game was.
At this time, we would like to announce tonight's Bud Zero safe driver.
Dolabella had the goal of the week with that half volley effort. Kept Jared Bazzola frozen in his spot. There he is.
Concern here for Greenville. I think that's Brandon Fricky. Receiving some attention on the edge of the box. We've seen Fricky leave early in some games recently. Took a headshot last week.
See Mazzola there giving some impassioned words to our head official, Alejo Kalume.
The only defensive option on the bench for John Harkes is high schooler Jonah Bigger. More of a natural midfielder, but has been employed on the back line this season earlier. Fricky appears good to go for now.
Tripping up there, nothing called. Brito able to step on that one and win it away from Gavilanes, but then it's gifted right back to him. Gavilanes being ushered to a corner, and he got tripped up, and that one will win a free kick. Just got clipped. Dolabella indignant about it.
He knows that's not the best place to give away a free kick.
Yeah, Gavilanes is pretty dead to rights here.
He was obviously looking for the contact. Dolabella claiming he didn't touch Gavilanes' left ankle.
Gavilanes and Pilato once again by the dead ball. Pilato with the effort, but a player goes down. Stopping that one dead in its tracks.
Greenville will be happy to have a second shot at this one because it wasn't the best delivery from Pilato. Milanese and Slavovic having some words. See if we can see what happened here. Didn't quite get a look at it, yeah.
Maybe another chance for Pilato to get a better hit on the ball. And that service all the way in, caught by Nuhu. So good getting upward, Rashid Nuhu. Always capable of making those acrobatic saves where he throws himself out like a rag doll and gets the job done. Heel. Plays this one forward, nodded down. Fricky and Meza fighting. Meza able to win the ball back. Brito gets tripped up, and that's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, silly there from Tyler Polak. Brito is going away from goal. You can see Polak's reaction as he looks to the skies. I mean, Brito was trying to go around Polak, but he had help from Castro. There was no real danger, and a little silly there from the veteran.
So free kick for the Owls. After Greenville had a chance on the free kick, the visitors now look to see if they can do some danger. Neal's eyes scan the battleground here. Provides the service, and that nearly made contact with about 3 or 4 different players. And they're going to say it grazed off a Triumph defender and out for a corner kick.
Yeah, I think Evan Lee got what ended up being a crucial touch on it.
Oh, went out for a throw. McKinnon already on a yellow.
Yeah, more silly stuff. There's no need again, but Dolabella going away from goal and not a particularly dangerous position. It was back to goal, and Ryan McKillen just clattered right into it.
Another chance from the set piece for the Owls. Luis Heel, their set piece provider, waits for the go-ahead. Heel drives it low. That one will squeak out, and the Owls will cycle through once again.
It's wasted there from Heel. Now a chance for Greenville to break.
Just a little too much on that one from McKinnon to catch up to.
And Schaffbruder's got wheels. He's always going to win that race.
So the Owls will once again push forward as we await those first substitutions for either of these teams. John Harkes was talking about just how difficult it is to win games with depth or without depth. He said, we threw in a striker last game when we were up a goal. Of course, that was Jacob Labovitz. He talked about how there have been times in the past where you could be leading by a goal and you throw in a striker and they provide some great pressure up top and it works out for you, but that wasn't the case in that game against Tormenta. But he mentioned we didn't really have a choice. McKinnon with a step. Back heels it to Schultz. Schultz gets the cross in, and a diving header knocks it away.
I mean, that's good for McKinnon, but he had the chance to get the cross in himself. And in the end, just dropped it back to a fullback. I understand what he was trying to do, but he had the open cross opportunity and decided to give it up.
So we're seeing if this will be turned into effectively a set piece with Jacob Labovitz opting to play catapult here. Lofts this one in. It's headed away cleanly. Dolabella springs this one forward. Steven Dos Santos weaving around Pollock. Dos Santos shoots, it's saved. Jared Mazzola with the twitch reaction.
That all started with a poor header by Daniel Wu under pressure. Instead of going to his left to right, he went right back up the middle. And allowed the counter-attack opportunity for Omaha. Steven Dos Santos cutting back inside, turning Tyler Pollock inside out. Good left-footed strike and an equally as good save from Mazzola.
That's a scary man to see one-on-one. Steven Dos Santos, 71 USL goals. Long-time scorer in the championship. Formerly of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who, like we already mentioned, are playing at the moment. So we've got two substitutions for Union Omaha. Eddie Gordon coming in for Shaft Brewer, who had just made that sprint moments ago to track back and beat Liam McKinnon. And Luis Heel will leave for Alex Steinwasser.
Eddie Gordon's first appearance of the season.
Had 18 appearances last year, Eddie Gordon. An Omaha native.
Steinwasser's appeared in every game but two. Got the start in the opener against Madison. Also scored in that 3-3 draw with Chattanooga a few weeks ago.
What a hit that was, too, in that draw against Chattanooga. Such a fantastic strike from Steinwasser. Labovitz with another launching pass. Popped up, still bouncing in the 18, right by the penalty mark. McKinnon tried to get his boot on it, and it'll be cleared away by Dolabella. Steinwasser with some fresh legs, can't get there in time. Now we'll get a Greenville substitution. Liam McKinnon, the goal scorer, will make his way off the pitch in, well, not yet. We'll wait a little bit longer. Quick substitution, not gonna happen for the Triumph. They wanted to get this one in. It will happen though. McKinnon's about to make his way off the pitch.
For those USL Championship fans, Alex Steinwasser, the cousin of Detroit City goal, longtime Detroit City goalie Nate Steinwasser.
Castro trying to sneak that one by. The Owls privy to his wiles there. Gears floats this one forward, headed away by Wu. Contact there on Polak will win a free kick for the Triumph. And now we'll get the substitution. Liam McKinnon will come out, and Venton Evans will step in his place. Looking to be the offensive spark that Greenville need to find a victory here, similar to that of Steinwasser's edition. And Eddie Gordon. This substitution brought to you by Spinks. We'll see if that's the change that John Harksides needs.
Going back to the Omaha substitutions, bringing off a fullback and bringing on a midfielder as well as a striker. We'll see what Omaha do at the back. Looks like Eddie Gordon may go play some fullback, more of a midfielder by trade.
Good footwork there from Lee. Gets it over to Gavilanes. Gavilanes, it falls to Lee. Lee shoots, it's saved by Nuhu. Punches it over the crossbar.
Evan Lee with his first real chance coming from that center midfield spot. Quite a time to score a goal. He hasn't scored one in a while. Did he score one on a loose ball last season, I remember?
He did score one last season.
That was a center-back style finish there. He had both sides knew who to go to, but put it straight at him. Eddie Gordon did play some fullback last season for Omaha, as well as center midfield, so slotting into that fullback spot.
Second PNC's corner for kids today.
See if Palacios moves to left back.
Gavilanes will have to hold. Steven Dos Santos discards the water bottle. Gavilanes floats it in, punched away by Nuhu. I feel like he had to get it through his own defender. Floated back into play. Labovitz across the middle, and he's offside. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including the return of USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern starting June 13th. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 in the SXM app. Evans, his first look on the ball, and he draws the foul. Do we have a game winner in this one? First match of the series went to a 3-3 draw. We're at a draw right now. The belt just indecisive about where it belongs. They have 3 games this season, and right now on pace for 2 of them to not have a victor.
Well, half of the previous 8 matchups have ended in draws, so the odds are with the tie mark.
Evans.
Greenville still has the belt from that 2022 victory in June. 2-0 win.
How was that Werner Park, was it not?
It was. Both goals. Well, one from Labovitz, one from Keegan. JK will be in action coming up in 20 minutes or so. Noco hosting 1 Knoxville.
And voila, there it is once again. We talked about this in the open, Ross. These are 2 teams that have very much found success in USL League One since its inception. Hold a high standard here in the league. The expectation is success for both of these clubs. Both of them able to don a star over their crest.
Yeah, no Tommy Meza with that first half goal, now the leading goal scorer in this series between these two teams. There were a couple. He was tied with Marius Lormis, Evan Conway, as well as Jacob Labovitz with 2 goals in the series between these two sides. But now Meza with the lead with 3.
He's also tied with Rafa Mensingen for second place in the Golden Boot race with his 6 goals this season. He's able to notch it home early in this one. Then Liam McKinnon, right before the half, was up to the task to level the series.
Catalonia's disagreeing with that call, but the assistant referee was right there. Had a great look at it.
Wu. The ball forward will bounce out of play. 10 more minutes to go. Palacios. Nice turn to keep Labovitz from biting.
Oof. That's a nasty challenge. There's a head collision there with Wu and Dos Santos. He's feeling that one. Looks like he's already bleeding from his head mark, I think. I see some blood on his right eye.
He's already had to sport the head bandaging this season one time.
He has. He's taking a look at this one. Oof, yeah.
Yikes.
Front of head to back of head. And normally the back of the head wins out in those ones. Yeah, Wu's going to have to get a quick stitch up here.
Communication from the training staff here for the Greenville Triumph, making sure that Daniel Wu gets the best care he can.
Trainer Rachel Gordon taking care of Daniel Wu. John Hartz will be hoping he can continue because, as you mentioned, Jonah Bigger, I guess they do have the option of dropping Evan Lee back.
That's true.
To centre back if they need to. And perhaps bringing Bigger in at defensive midfield.
See these fans clapping here. I would like to shout out the left side. We got the 2 guys who are each using a hand to clap together.
You got your other hand's busy with a beer, Mark.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work.
That was the great thing about Legacy, that the area they sat in had shelves for beers in the standing room only section. As Wu sitting up, which is good to see. Rachel Gordon getting the patch-up work done here. And as you mentioned, the second time this season he's been out dealing with a head injury. Missed time with a groin as well.
Whoops. Have another take at it.
You have the option of bringing Walker on it as well, if need be, in place of Lee, and dropping Lee back into that centre back spot. We'll see what John Harkes ends up doing. Wu's had a good game since that early error, which almost led to an Omaha goal. We have a goal. Speaking of goals, Madison have taken the lead late in the first half against NCFC. Missing a couple of key parts tonight, Madison. That would be a good win for them if they can beat the league leaders. Aaron Walker is indeed getting warmed up, although now we're seeing Lucas Coutinho. Must be, was he a double change here?
And those are 2 names that Greenville fans will be stoked to see making their way back to the pitch. Lucas Coutinho and Aaron Walker, 2 major pieces to this Greenville team. And it looks like it'll be the end of the evening for Daniel Wu. Like you mentioned, though, Ross, it doesn't have to be a like-for-like substitution with Evan Lee already on the pitch, playing out of position. Now could be pushed back into his position. So Walker will come into the game, and Wu will come out.
Substitution for Greenville. Entering the match, number 8, Aaron Walker.
So Walker will see this one out.
2, Daniel Wu.
That substitution brought to you by Spinks.
In the 84th minute.
Yeah, Walker's missed the last 4 games with that hamstring injury he sustained against Charlotte in that 3-1 win she scored in. He's missed the last 4 after hurting his hamstring in that one. So been out for over a month.
They've got a corner kick here for the Owls.
Corner kick for Union Omaha.
Brito provides the service. Headed back into the fray of things. Meza with a step. Meza shoots. It pinballs around. Another effort floats up, and Mazzola has it in his grip.
Mazzola with the huge boot as always. Careful, Venton Evans.
Nearly getting there in front of Rashid Nuhu. There's Aaron Walker applying pressure to fellow substitute Alex Steinwasher.
Some fresh legs on now. See if they can make a difference in the last 10 minutes here.
This segment of the game brought to you by ScanSource, accelerating growth for partners and calling Greenville home for 30 years.
Both teams bringing the big guns on here. As you see down the bottom, Coutinho as well as Connor Doyle about to come on.
Gavilanes gets tripped up. And it looks like a player's being ushered over.
JP Scarce always around the ball when the other team has it. Loves to get involved on the tackle duel side of things. It'll be Coutinho coming on for Leo Castro, I think.
You think, and you are correct. Castro comes off, and Coutinho comes in.
Coutinho can play that 10 role. And Lavovitz a little ahead of him.
Substitution brought to you by Spinks. Meanwhile, Connor Doyle will not have his appearance streak cut off. Hasn't missed a League One game since 2019, Ross. So through the COVID year, through every single season since then, Connor Doyle has played in every match.
He's a key part of this Omaha midfield. You and I were surprised to not see him in the starting lineup tonight. See if he can conjure something up here. There's got to be at least 10 minutes left with all the injuries we've had here in the second half. Stephen Payne with the goal for Madison from a fullback position. So he looks to take that 1-0 lead into the half in stoppage time there.
So Brito leaves and Doyle enters. Will these changes, these shifts, these adjustments make a difference for the Owls or for the Triumph?
Number 8, Joe Brito. In the 87th.
I see JP Scarce push a little further forward down this left side maybe with the introduction of Doyle.
Casciato gives a pat on the back to Joe Brito.
Doyle will take the captain's armband.
And now here is the set piece from the Triumph from well out. Gavilanes with the service inside, falls to Polak. Polak shoots it, and it's off the mark. One day, Ross.
Greenville, that was Greenville's 9th shot of the day, and 5 of them have come off set pieces, not obviously off the initial delivery, but that one counted too. So Greenville being a threat on the set pieces tonight. Both teams with a .68 XG so far. Three shots on target for Greenville, 4 for Omaha.
How often do you get a game that's level in goals and also perfectly level in expected goals?
We'll see if it ends that way. Omaha been the more effective passing team in the opposition's half tonight. Greenville with only a 46.2% passing success rate in the opposition half. Omaha 57%. Only the 4 shots on target for Omaha.
Probably get a good chunk of stoppage time once we hit the 90 due to some of the stoppages we've had here in the last 10 minutes.
For sure. Madison, North Carolina at the half now. 1-0 to the Mingos.
Labovitz with a step to his left, the pass deflecting off the heels. Gavilanes with a nifty move runs into Coutinho. Or maybe it was more the other way around. That one will have to get knocked back to Mazzola. the throw for the Owls. Harks once again pointing to the throw-in spot.
And shaking his head. Talked to John about the soccer tournament, which finished last weekend, the $1 million. He said he watched a bit of it. A few of his former players playing from FC Cincinnati, Dallas J. Also participated, former Greenville keeper. He said he really enjoyed it. It was obviously a different brand of soccer. I didn't ask him if he was doing any recruiting. Obviously just up the road in Cary.
And there's the current Greenville keeper, Jared Mazzola. Big shoes to fill with Dallas J and Paul the Wall.
He's done a good job so far. John Harks talks about his improvement every game. Made a couple of silly mistakes here and there, but certainly kept his teams in games with some big shots. Had two great stops last week, one in each half.
And we're going to get 6 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by Engineered Sleep, the best handmade mattresses in town. Visit engineeredsleep.com for better sleep. So about 5 more minutes now for one of these teams to find all 3 points, or the winless streaks continue for the two sides. Polak down the left-hand side. It's Evans. Schultz. Exchanges with Gavilanes. Sends the cross inside. Lavovitz trying to let that one skate off his head and fall on a plate for Coutinho.
Wow.
And it's going to be a corner kick.
It's poor from, I think was that Connor Doyle with the mistake there? Or was it?
PNC Corners for Kids
right
taken
back.
by your Greenville Triumph.
So it's a PNC's corner for kids. Greenville been dangerous on the set pieces. Coutinho on the service. It bends in, headed away by Dolabella.
Knew who went flapping and didn't get there. He's lucky.
Walker turns, still in the muck. It's knocked away. Dolabella, some nice footwork, gets tripped up. Action still going, Gavilanes shoots. And it's into the hands of Rashid Nuhu.
Good strike, but he had Nate Schultz screaming for the ball wide open to his right. Gavilanes had just looked up. He did force a decent save out of Nuhu. It was a stinger. Nuhu could only take the sting out of it and regather. Oh dear.
That clearance, won back by the Owls, or actually just deflected away. And Steven Dos Santos gesturing that he hit him with the side of his arm. And that's probably going to give him a booking as he walks away with the ball.
He wanted shoulder to shoulder. He's always going to win that collision with Jared Mazzola. Let's take another look at it here. Yeah. See, I'm okay with the shoulder to shoulder when it's on the ball. I think it was just too far away from the ball. Got there a little early. Certainly could have gone either way. Jared Mazzola talked about his proneness to make the occasional mistake. That was almost one there. Got away with it though.
As right now, no booking for Dos Santos for the anger he displayed after the fact.
Nate Schultz should get a yellow for what he just did there. He completely stopped the throw by putting his hands up in front of the throw taker. He got away with that one too.
Yeah, Connor Doyle kind of looking like Nikola Jokic there with the way he threw that ball in. Coutinho pops it forward. Lavovitz did his best to chest it down.
And this game's getting wide open now with some tired legs out there. There's tons of space now opening up. This team's only made 3 of the 5 subs.
Under 2 minutes to go. This one floated forward, trying to connect with Evans. Pilato to Polak. Switched over. Gavilanes with a man on his back. Gavilanes again. Pilato back out to Polak. Just a little over a minute to go. Pilato. Schultz heads it across the center. It dips down between the two strikers. Labovitz is going to be waved offside.
I want to see a replay of that one. I'm not sure if the right back on the far side wasn't keeping him onside. Eddie Gordon. Keep an eye. Nope. So keep an eye on Eddie Gordon on the far side. Yeah, maybe a few inches off. It was close.
Time winds down. Nuhu sends this one deep down the field. Polak trying to get a man running. Time ticking away for the try from the Owls to claim 3 points. And a clunky challenge from JP Skierce on Aaron Walker. He'll quickly take the free kick.
Nice chance here, perhaps. Just got to get it into the box.
Evans trying to wheel by his man.
Gives himself a free kick and a yellow card.
Eddie Gordon, his first yellow card of the season, of course, this being his first appearance of the year.
To Union Omaha's number 12, Eddie Gordon.
And this will most likely be the conclusion of the game. This free kick right here for the Triumph.
Yeah, Gordon just adjusted his line of run. Got his arm into it, and Evans was never going to win that battle for pace. One last chance here for the home team.
Evans with a pacey turn. It's Coutinho and Gavilanes. Can the Triumph find a goal in the death? To find 3 points. Pilato takes the shot himself. It's saved by Nuhu. A good hit from Pilato. And that is the conclusion of this game. 1-1 Greenville, Omaha.
We waited all night for a quality save from Nuhu, and there it was. At the death to earn himself a point on the road.
Here's a look at that last moment. Pilato, he can hit them hard. But Nuhu, we mentioned it earlier, has the propensity to make acrobatic saves. And that one, he was able to spring into action and keep it at a point apiece for the Triumph and the Owls. So 1-1, your final scoreline. Still deadlock between these two teams in the battle for the belt this season, and rightfully so today. So squared even between the two sides for 90 whole minutes. Let's take a look at our adjustment of the match, brought to you by Upstate Spine and Sport. And it's going to be this goal from Liam McKinnon. It falls to his feet, and in that moment, you've got to assess the situation real quick, Ross, and figure out what the right thing to do is, and he did the right thing there.
If you watch the replay, the Omaha defenders all dropped off a little bit, expecting the cross, and it just fell. That led to McKinnon being a little more wide open than he thought he was going to be. Still a quality finish from the youngster. His second goal of the season earns his team a point.
So that will do it here. We've got post-game content coming away after this break on ESPN+. We'll see you on the other side. A point apiece shared between the Triumph and the Owls.
You know, I'm just feeling a lot of pressure. There's big shoes to fill.
It's your time now, Tommy. I know you'll keep it special like your dad did.
If we can keep this business growing, I think that's the best way to honor him.
Well, I was there for him, and I'll be there for you.
About this new location,
He would have loved it, Tommy. Let's find a way.
Whenever the Greenville Tramps score not one, but 2 goals during any home game, fans score big with 10% off on all fresh, scratch-made food at Habitat. Just grab a table, show your game day ticket while wearing your Triumph gear. Don't forget, you can always come cheer on the team while watching the away games during our watch parties. Habitat, proud sponsor of the Greenville Triumph.
Here are your GSP International Airport high-flying plays of the match, starting with the goal in the 8th minute by Noe Meza. As part of the build-up, Ross, and then he's all by himself here, just waiting for the ball to ping back to him.
Yeah, it was good work from Joe Burrito. Went wide with the shot. Was only with a decent save, and then Meza there to clean up. That was really the only action of a very quiet most of the first half, but Greenville would tie things up right at the death.
And we see here, Lion McKinnon falls to him. He had the space to wind up and shoot, and he gets it done.
The best part of this goal, Mark, is that Leo Castro misses it completely because he's complaining about the ref about the handball. He didn't see his teammate stick it in the back of the net.
Here is the Coca-Cola full-time stats, and of course, 4 shots on target apiece, including Noah Pallato's strike right at the end of the game that was stopped by Nuhu, keeping this game at 1 goal apiece. Greenville end up having the edge in expected goals by just a smidge. I think .08 was the difference between the two of them. I think rightfully even between these two.
Yeah, fair result. I think in the end, not too many quality chances for either side in total, but both sides still seeking that win that would take them out of the non-playoff zone, as we call it. Still early days though, Mark.
Certainly. Greenville Triumph have a long road trip to Central Valley Fuego next weekend. Meanwhile, it's 11 days till the next Omaha match when they play Juan Knoxville. But for tonight's match, for our broadcasting crew, Ross Davenport, I'm Mark Schoenstert. We appreciate you watching this game. Thank you for tuning in. Got a lot of other League One games happening tonight, so be sure to check them out right here on ESPN+. But for our team, we hope you have a good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.